The opportunity in public speaking is what we're talking now. According to National Bureau of Statistics Nigeria, it says youth unemployment rate in Nigeria increased to 53.40% in the fourth quarter of 2020 from 40 to 40.80% in the second quarter of 2020. Complementarily, according to Trading Economics Global Macro Models and Analyst Expectations, youth unemployment rate is projecting towards 53.70% by the end of this quarter, talking about 2021. Now, this figure happened to be staggering. Now, Societal Watch is thinking of what youth can do to come out from this staggering report of unemployment rates in Nigeria. And of course, our focus this morning is what can public speaking, the art and the mastering of public speaking do for the timid, unemployed Nigerian youth. Joining me via studio, or joining me live in the studio is Ohemu Godwin. Pius is a business and development coach, and of course is the founder of Readers Are Leaders. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much, Flora. It's a wonderful thing to be with you today.
Okay, for your kind of personality, when you get to hear data of this surge, I'm sure it gets you worried.
Sincerely, it is very, very alarming, I must confess. You know, the last time that I was with you in the studio, we learned that Statista gave a report, and they said unemployment rate in Nigeria actually stood at 32.5%. 32.5%, if we have 200 million Nigerians, that is 46 million. Okay, in other words, it simply means that Nigeria can boast of a large army of unemployed citizens that nearly equals the population of Togo, Kuwait, Israel, and Mauritania put together. It is shocking. And as day breaks and night falls, you know, we get to see that this figure keeps increasing. In the third quarter of 2019 or so, based on the information made available by the National Bureau of Statistics, unemployment in Nigeria then stood at 21.3%. And now, Statista is saying 32.5%.
Nigeria
National Bureau of Statistics now is saying it has gone higher.
And is projected to get to 53.70%.
Again, by
the end of 2021.
2021. So you can see, our country, Nigeria, does not even obey the law of gravity. Whatever that goes up in Nigeria does not come down. You know, it keeps going up higher and higher and higher every day. It is very, very alarming.
So
honestly.
We are thinking of clamping down on unemployment rate, looking at public speaking, because everybody talks, people speak, as we speak, we're communicating.
Sure.
If this is mastered, if this aspect of life is mastered, and of course the art learned, can it actually put food on the table of Nigerian youth?
Absolutely, it can. And I'm saying this not because I read it on the internet or something. I'm saying this categorically because it is something that has been of great benefit to me as an individual over the past few years of my life. I don't only teach people how to stand and speak convincingly. I also engage myself in public speaking engagement. I anchor events. I train professionals in the field of engineering. I work with students, entrepreneurs, people who are in different spheres of life. I do this because I believe so much that for you to be able to maximize yourself as a human being, you need the ability to be able to stand and express yourself convincingly before a known or an unknown audience.
So what does this art really entail?
Okay, I think we should look at what exactly is public speaking, right? Okay, there are several definitions of what public speaking actually is. For the past 6 years of my life, I have been a student of this subject. I have learned at the feet of great individuals like Demosthenes, who happened to be one of the founding fathers of public speaking. I've also studied the writings of Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., and other people, Dale Carnegie, okay, and they have their own definition of what public speaking actually is. But as a student, I decided to pull up my own definition of what public speaking actually is. So I define public speaking as an in-depth expression of your heart on a given subject with the intent to inform, to persuade, to call to action, to educate, or to entertain. It is done out of conviction, and it must be delivered with enthusiasm and life. This is not just a definition. This is a combination of what public speaking actually is. an in-depth expression of your heart. It means that you are not giving us a shallow-based knowledge of what we are talking about. You really know this thing very well, and you want to engage your audience in ideal focused discussion. Now, it is done with intent. There is a reason for which you are standing on stage to engage your audience in ideal focused discussion. And the intent could be to inform. Perhaps they are not aware of a particular thing. You want to draw their attention to it. Perhaps they are ignorant about an event. You want to educate them, or you want to persuade them, call them to action, or better still, you want to entertain them. And this thing is done out of conviction, and it must be delivered with enthusiasm and life. Without enthusiasm and life in what we are saying, then it is a beautiful nonsense. So this is what public speaking actually is: an in-depth expression of your heart with the intent to inform, to persuade, to call to action, to entertain, or to educate. It is done out of conviction, and it must be delivered with enthusiasm and life.
Okay, from all of these you've mentioned, we can actually classify public speaking as an art.
It's an act.
Because you entertain and educate at the same time.
Absolutely.
That means one has to be skilled to be able to carry out all of these indices simultaneously. I
love the fact that the topic of our discussion today is the act of public speaking. It is an act. Then it means it can be learned, right? Okay. I see public speaking as learning how to ride the bicycle. Anybody can learn how to ride a bicycle if there be enough dedication and devotion to the task at hand. But you can't just go to the classroom and you receive lectures as per the various parts of a bicycle. You will never know how to ride the bicycle until you mount the bicycle, you place your legs on the pedal, and you propel forward. Okay, so you can receive lectures, you can read materials, but if you don't get on stage, if you don't start speaking, you will never become a public speaker. The best way to learn how to swim is to plunge inside the water. Okay, when you get in there, then you begin to learn. Practice will help you to become good at it, and then when you become good at it, you can now begin to serve your skill. That is where we talk about monetizing your public speaking ability, making it to become a means of income for you. So that's how it is. It is not something that is bestowed on some privileged individuals. It is an art, it is a skill, and anybody can learn this skill and become best at it. If you so choose to monetize it, it is for you. But given the fact that we are looking at the high rate of unemployment in the system at the moment, if there be any skill that I will advocate for our youth to start harnessing, I feel it is the ability to stand and to speak. Because this skill can set you apart. It can take you, it can take you to chambers. It can open the doors of palace for you to stand and to engage people who are even higher than you. The show will pay to listen to you, and by so doing, you can make money from it.
Some persons will say, in as much it involves to educate, and of course to inform, it means you need to be educated.
Yes.
You need to be intellectual.
Absolutely.
To be able to deliver speech and get people seated, listen, digest what you say, without making a move. All of these put together, how long does it take, and what are the necessary skilled knowledge you need, or skilled academic knowledge you need to be able to express or explore these aspects? Okay.
Currently, I don't think you need to go to the university to study public speaking in order for you to become a public speaker.
Like, seriously?
Yeah. Okay, now what you need to do is to find a niche. A niche is your domain, and your domain is the only place where you can exercise dominance.
Hold on, check. When you say your domain, give us an imaginary example.
Okay. For example, at Speak Perfect International, where I train people how to become confident and inspiring public speakers.
You're going to pay for that.
No problem, so sorry. Okay, so what we do basically is that we look for 3 basic areas where we feel we are very good at. There are so many areas that you can become a public speaker, okay? But we look at, we teach people, we focus basically on 3 pillars. That is public speaking, business, and leadership. Okay. These are our domain. Yours could be fashion, yours could be health, yours could be business, yours could be transportation, it could be whatsoever. Just find your niche. when you find your niche, you are like a square peg in a square hole. Then you fit in properly. But where you are going to have difficulty is if you are a square peg and you want to put yourself in a round hole, it will not fit. So you must find a niche. I studied microbiology technology. Okay, today I can stand and I can share my views. I can, share my ideas on microbiology. Okay, that is not something that I'm so passionate about to say. But when it comes to teaching my fellow human being how to stand and express themselves confidently without the embarrassing show of glossophobia, I can do it absolutely because it is my niche, it is my domain, and that is where I can exercise dominance. That is where I find my leadership. Okay, so everybody.
What if you're contracted to speak in an area that is not your niche?
Okay, now one basic thing that I teach, my student is that when you are invited to speak in an event, you must ask yourself, what knowledge do I have about this topic or this invitation that I just been given to me? It is better for you to back out early when you know that you don't have anything in your head, no information to share, no knowledge to transmit. It is better for you to back out than for you to go up there and exhibit your level of ignorance. You understand? So accept invitation on event that you are very, very good at. I got an invitation from Atlantic Television Network to speak about public speaking. I accepted it because public speaking is what gives me joy. We can be here, we can talk about it from morning till night, no problem. Okay, I love it. It gives me, in fact, this is where I find fulfillment. And I want everybody, youth out there who are yet to find something for themselves, think about it. If public speaking is your thing, okay, you can key in. And you don't need to be 50 years old or 200 million years old before you can become a public speaker.
Okay.
If you find your niche, if your niche is fashion, improve yourself, develop yourself in that area, and you can become an authority. Readers are leaders. The more you know, the more you can share. And the less you know, the more you have to keep quiet.
Interesting. Can you be a public speaker and without having the character of an entertainer?
You can be, there are different categories of public speaking. For example, I can say Flora Duke is a public speaker, but your own area of public speaking is on the TV. You are a newscaster, you are a news anchor, you are a journalist, you lead people in what they call, you are a lead discussant. For example, as I am in the studio with you now, you are the lead discussant. Okay, you ask me a question, I give feedback. Not everybody has the ability to do this. We are trained, and as day breaks and night falls, we are committing to a continual professional development. You are reading, you are learning, unlearning, and relearning to better yourself in the field of journalism, right? Likewise, if I find an area for myself now, I must improve myself. Improvement is very, very important. If you are not improving yourself, if your 2018 edition of your life is not better than if your 2021 edition of your life is not better than your 2018 edition, then you are outdated. We have to keep improving, okay? So if you find this is the area that I am good at, improve yourself. Commit yourself to a continuous and a never-ending improvement strategy. Permit me to quote Napoleon Hill. In his book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill said, the person who stops studying simply because he has graduated from the university or high school is forever hopelessly doomed to mediocrity. He said the way of success is the way of continuous learning. We must keep learning, keep improving ourselves in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. We must make that resolve to go to bed every day a little bit better than we were when we woke up.
Quite interesting. Now, let's look at the Nigerian culture or Nigerian mentality, where when you get to see flyers or billboard there and you see the title or the subject matter of discourse, you already know the who that will be speaking at that podium. How do you think these mindsets could improve or create room or opportunity for young people watching now who may want to key in to what we're saying to get the requisite knowledge of public speaking and carve a niche for themselves, like what you've said, and become dominant in their domain, but with the big fish who've made name for themselves, who those who are looking for public speaker keep having this mindset of shopping for the best, shopping for the A-list speakers, shopping for those who've made names for themselves. What opportunity lying, daring for young, upcoming public speakers?
Flora, I believe so much that the world is our oyster. The world is our oyster in the sense that if it doesn't work for me in Port Harcourt, it can work for me in Lagos. If it doesn't work for me in Lagos, it can work for me in Abuja. If it doesn't work for me in Abuja, there are 36 states in Nigeria, 774 local governments, and I can actually find somewhere else where I can serve my skill. If it doesn't even work for me in Nigeria, there are 54 nations in Africa. If it doesn't work for me in Africa, there are 7 continents in the world. I can try somewhere else. And with the advent of technology, you can be in your room with a phone in front of you, and you can begin to sell yourself. So I feel what we need to look at is not that there are big fish out there. The big fish out there should not be a threat to you. The major challenge that you should have is, how do I increase my visibility? How do I market myself? How do I become searchable on the internet? You understand? That will actually help to set you apart. There are people who have been there even before I came into public speaking. I don't see them as competitors. Okay, they are not my competitors. It is actually average people that see their fellow human beings as competitors. I compete with time. If I can actually beat time, if I can do what to take someone, if I can do in 2 days, what to take someone 2 months to do, that means I am ahead of that person. So we should look at, how do I spend my 24 hours, my lot of 24. Do you know that whether you are a male or a female, rich or poor, a Nigerian or an American, we all have 24 hours. There's nobody on earth that has 48 hours in a day. So the yardstick as per whether you are successful or you are a failure in life is a factor of how you use your 24. So if you're out there and you see that public speaking is something that you want to invest in, that you want to become a public speaker, Flora, this profession, it pays. I'm telling you, the amount of money you make in 30 minutes, the amount of money you make 10 minutes to anchor an event, I don't think some person will have to work for a month for them to earn that amount of money.
Really?
I'm telling you,
first public speaking job, how much were you paid?
I didn't get paid anything.
Seriously?
I'm telling you.
Were you encouraged?
I didn't go there with the grab mentality
Of getting
paid. I went there with the gap mentality. There's a difference between grab mentality and gap mentality.
What's
the grab mentality kind of people are those who are actually looking for what is in need for me right now. Immediate gratification. Okay. But there are those who go there with the gap mentality. What space is there for me to feel? Who am I going to meet in the audience that might actually help me to connect the dots, to take me from one place to the other? I went to speak to MC a reception, a wedding reception in 2018 in Edo State. It was free of charge, okay? But that singular event was like a leapfrog to more events and upon events and upon invitation and invitation. So I believe so much that every opportunity to appear before a known or an unknown audience to speak is an opportunity to make or to mar another opportunity.
I'm thinking one of the major reasons we have this high number of unemployment rate in the country is due to this grabs mentality of Nigerian.
We want to have it right now.
Right now, every Nigerian youth wants it done, want this microwave style of wealth, microwave style of money. It has to be the fast and rapid approach. But if the filling the gap mentality comes into play, and you're thinking of how to fill the gap rather than how to gain, I think by so doing, you'll be able to make yourself more open to people who may need you for service. Okay, let's talk about the other aspects of public speaking as we round up. Where is the best place to start? Do you need that big platform? Where is the best place to start working?
From your family, during your morning devotion. It might shock you to know that the best place for you to start improving yourself to become an A-class public speaker is from your immediate environment, from your family during your morning devotion. For you to build mastery, you don't need an audience of 5,000 people. You don't need an audience of 10 million people. If you can start from your home and you do that, you do again, you start building confidence. Why many people are terrified of standing in a public to speak is because they lack self-confidence. They lack self-confidence because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do because they lack experience. And they lack experience because they have never tried. Oh. You have to try. And where do you try? Try during your family's morning devotion.
Try in your, where they don't have morning devotion.
Try in your place of work. Oftentimes, you might have staff meeting. Throw yourself at opportunity that warrant you to speak, even to move emotion or to say an opening prayer. Do that. As you keep doing it, you are building self-confidence. And when you have self-confidence, you have experience. What you need for you to take the stage, to start engaging people in ideal-focused discussion is that courage. And the only way you can build the courage, it comes from practice. Practice, 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 and continuous practice. I don't believe that practice makes perfect. I believe that practice makes improvement. Oh. And the more you practice, the more, of course, you will know. And then you'll be able to control yourself, manage your stage, and be able to overcome the fear of public speaking.
In 30 seconds, what's your word to those watching who have been turned down at their first opportunity?
Keep trying. I have been laughed at by my eldest sister, as in she never believed that I can stand in the public to speak.
I'm sure she's watching you
It
now.
might shock you to know that I stammer, right? I am a stammerer. If a stammerer like me can be on TV speaking with you, if a stammerer like me can stand before audience of 500, 600 to engage them in ideal-focused discussion. In 2019, I co-anchored the African Magnate Summit at the Bank of Ghana Auditorium in Ghana. And we did this excellently well. If a stammerer could go that far to do it, why shouldn't you? Why wouldn't you, who can speak confidently, who does not have any speech defect? What are you still waiting for? Find a niche, throw yourself at it, develop yourself, improve yourself, and somebody will pay you to serve your skill.
All right. Thank you so much, Godwin, Pius, Ohemu. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Leader, business coach, and of course, founder. Readers are leaders. I think I like that slogan. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's an honor. Thank you.
All right. On the flip side of the show, we're going